Hey everyone. Thanks for tuning in again. I really appreciate you guys for watching my videos. I want to wish you a very happy belated Christmas. I hope you guys had a great time with your family, with friends, with pets. I know that I had extra pets around this past weekend and yesterday and had a great time. So I hope you guys did too. Hope it was a super blessed time with your family. So now we're looking towards New Year's, and I have some really cool paper to show you for this new border. So let me show it to you. This was actually made not with the paper I'm going to use today. This was made with the sunflower paper, really pretty yellows and greens and stuff for the background. But this particular border was made with a 3.5-inch sheet of paper, piece of paper, 3.5 by 12. And I made it with the Scallop Square 3-in-1. Come on, camera. Hello, there we go. Sorry, Scallop Square 3-in-1 punch. So let me show it to you. This is new with Creative Memories. This is only available from your advisor. So if you would like one, get a hold of your advisor and she can get one for you. This is really interesting in that it punches 3 different ways. So it does just one scallop square. It does a square with a square punched out the middle of it. And then the third section is 3 different punches all in one punch. And then this is the lock part where you push it down, move it over, and it locks it closed for you. Okay, so I'm going to be using all 3 sections. So I'm going to be using a sheet of paper out of the Showtime paper pack. And you want to choose a paper that has a lot of detail on one side and not much detail on the other. This one may look a little detailed, but it's pretty much not a whole lot of different colors, where this one has a huge variety of different colors. Okay. So what I'm going to do to start is I'm going to switch out my blade in my trimmer to the scoring blade. And I am going to score this at 1 3/4 inches. Now I'm going to do it from the right-hand side. I'm going to put all the way over to the right edge over here because that's 1 3/4 inches. The other way I could do it is do 1 3/4 this way. So it really doesn't matter. Once you've got it lined up at 1 3/4, go ahead and score it. So you want to push down hard enough that it's going to score through that on that piece of paper so you can fold it, but that it doesn't cut through it. Okay, I'm going to take this back out, put my straight cutter back in here, and move this out of the way. Okay, so I'm going to fold this down, and I'm going to start cutting. I'm going to put it in here, but I'm not going to cut right at the edge here. I'm going to move it over to where it's going to start cutting right in between these 2 dividers here. So you have the edge, then you've got a little divider here, a little divider here. Not quite sure what these are called, but I'm going to start at halfway through between this first and second divider here. Okay. The other thing I'm also going to do is I have a super technical tool. Not really. It's just a 1/4 inch piece of cardstock that I'm going to put on the top of this. So when I put the paper in, it's not going to cut all the way to the back. Okay. It's going to stop it from cutting. Let's see how I can lift this up so you guys can see this. Okay. It's going to cut 1/4 inch from the back of that. Now you also could do this maybe 1/8 of an inch. And I'll show you what that will do in a minute. But I have a little piece of a tape chip here so that this sticks out for this first punch. Because I want to be able to see this piece sticking out to make sure that it's 1/4 of an inch from the back of this punch. Okay, so I'm going to put it in here. I'm going to move it over so that it's halfway through, halfway in between that first and second divider there. Okay. And I'm going to make sure that this is straight across. And punch it. So it's going through 2 different layers of paper. Pull it out. It's going to give you this scallop punch. It's going to give you 2 pieces because you folded the paper. It's going to give you this square that was punched out of the middle of this. Okay, and then it's going to give you this third square that comes out the bottom. Isn't this cool? I love this punch. I think this is so fun. Now, the next time I move this paper over in this punch, I'm going to line up the edge with, let me see how I can point this out to you. Okay, so see, you've got this edge of the scallop right here before it goes down for the square. I'm going to line this little part of this scallop. Can you see that right there? This little part of this scallop, which is the left-hand edge of the very end scallop, going to line that up with the side of this punch right here. Okay, so let's see if I can show this to you. So see how you've got the edge of the punch right there? And this is lined up with it here. I'm going to move it over to that one little end of that scallop. It's just right on the edge of this punch right here. And that's how it's going to space these guys apart. Okay. Pull it out. So see, it's just, how far apart is that? Let's see. It's just over a 1/2 inch. It looks like it's about 5/8 of an inch in between there. Okay. And I'm just going to do that all the way across. Keep my little 1/4 of an inch piece of paper there on the top. Move it over to that very last scallop. Hold that on the edge. And punch it. Okay, pull it out. There's a possibility those can get stuck in there, so be pretty gentle as you're punching this. All right. Move it over again. We're going to do that 2 more times. Okay, there again, I'm just going to put this section. You can't see that very well, can you? Let's try this. Turn this around. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm lining this little part of the scallop, this very edge right here, on the edge of the punch when I put it back in there. Okay, so just moving it a little bit to the left of the very edge of this showing on the edge of the punch. Okay, so here again, I'm going to put this 1/4 of an inch piece back on top here. I have a little piece of a tape chip holding that down, so it keeps it at the 1/4 of an inch. Line that little section of the scallop back up, punch here, and we're going to do that 1 more time. And we're going to use all the pieces of this punch. Okay. Push this in here. Keep it as straight as you can. Okay, so what that does when you lined it up right here, when you initially punch it right in the middle, right here, it's going to give you pretty much the same distance on the left as it is on the right. And that's why I did that, because I want it to be equidistant on both sides. Okay? All right. Move these pieces all up out of the way. We're done with this punch. Now we're going to cut this at the 1 3/4 of an inch. So if I think you guys can see it better if I do it this way. So I'm going to line this up at the 1 3/4 all the way down. And I'm going to cut it so it's the same on either side. Okay, and open this up. Now, see how thin this is right here? That's because I had the 1/4 of an inch piece pushed back on the base of that punch. If I had used an 1/8 of an inch, little bit of a divider, that would have made this wider. So you can have this wider down here if you want, using an 1/8 of an inch divider. Or you can make it even a lot wider and not use that divider on it at all. So kind of play around with it. See what the sizing is that you like. And I'm just flattening these out right here. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, and you can do it from either side, but I'm just going to start this right corner up here is going to be put right on the cut line. I'm going to take this down here to the bottom left of this. So it's going to cut down there. So it's from one corner to the opposite corner. And it's not going to matter if you do it this way or if you do it from the top left to the bottom right. Okay, so whichever way you want to do it, it's not going to matter because we don't have to match it up to anything else. But just make sure you've got these lined up here. Put this down. Then this trimmer has these little plastic pieces that hide up in the top and the bottom. So pull this out. This black line on this piece, can you see that? This black line on this piece is going to tell you right where that blade is going to cut. And you have one on the top and you have one on the bottom. So here you can make sure that you have that top corner and that bottom corner centered right where you want, right on the edges there, so that it'll cut right where you want it to be. Okay, then cut this down. All right, so you've got these two pieces just like this. Okay, we are done with the trimmer. Put it away. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take these squares. We've got the big square, the medium square, and the small center square. Okay, so we're going to take these, and I'm going to start with the more multicolored side. So I'm just going to put these on here like this. Okay, and then I'm going to turn them over so that the other side shows when we stack it. And we're going to alternate these and just stack them. Okay, so I'm going to take this one, which is the more multicolored piece, set it down here, and then I'm going to take this one, the middle one, and I'm just going to put a little bit of repositionable tape on these corners. And I'm going to turn it over. So I have the contrasting color going on the top. And I'm going to put it, just put a little diamond shape in this square. Okay, so what I did, where's my multipurpose tool? Okay, so what I did is this is the middle of the scallop right here, in the middle of the scallop, in the middle of the scallop. So what I did was I just took this middle piece and just put all the corners in the middle right there. All right. Now I'm going to take the middle piece, put adhesive on just the corners of the back, and I'm going to use the more multicolored piece now on the top. And now I'm going to put this kind of in the middle of the little triangle or diamond shape that I put on here so that it goes on the top here. So that it kind of lines up. Let me get it exactly right here. Let me move this. There we go. Okay, so that it lines up top to top, bottom to bottom, so that it lines up across that way. Okay, it's like that and like this. All right, and so this is the piece now I'm going to use, and I'm going to adhere it down onto this piece. And I'm just going to kind of layer it, make sure that it looks pretty much centered right there. Okay, so I'm just going to put a little bit of adhesive on the corner because there's not much paper here to put it on. So you don't need tons of tape because it's just going to go right here. And they're just going to center it right in there. Okay, can you guys see that? And I'm going to do the same thing with another one. Put a little bit of adhesive on it. Center, to center, to center. Okay, and then the little piece. Turn it to where I can reach it easier. Okay, now this one is going to go here. So I'm actually going to put it right here so that it is centered as much as possible right there, top to bottom. See where the fold line is? Can you see that fold line right here? So I'm going to add this onto the fold line and this onto the fold line down here. A little bit of repositionable. This can go in the middle. This can go on the bottom. Kind of eyeball it top to bottom. Okay, now I'll do one more. And then for the sake of time, I've got some already made, so I can just show you where I'm going to position them on the rest of this piece. Okay, now this one is going to go in the middle here, in the middle of the full square on this side. And then I just kind of angled the next one up from there. So this can go on all four corners. Okay, center it here. So there you've got the first three on there. Isn't that pretty? This is going to look so cool, guys. So then the next piece, for the sake of time, I have some extras already made. This one's going to go up along here. Kind of right along there. And I think I cut it in half. 1, 2, 3. You guys can just kind of play with this however you want. I did them various ways. So this one will stick out over the edge just a little bit. Okay, and then you can cut this one in half if you want. Just cut it straight up through the middle. And then you can adhere it right along the edge there. Okay, now you can do the same thing with the other one. If you want to. You don't have to have two. You can just use one if you'd like. But I'll show you what this does with the two of them. Oh, this could go on 4 sides. Okay. Now I have a piece of black shimmer paper that I'm going to put this on. It's going to stand out so, so pretty. So it's going to look like this. Now you can put this on one side and you can put this on the other side. And then you can add your photos from there. Isn't that stunning? Isn't that so pretty? So here you can put some 4x6 photos. This is a 3x4. It's another 4x6. You're going to overlap it just a little bit or cut them down a little bit because, you know, your photos are all going to be different sizes. And then you can make one of these like a journaling box. Isn't that pretty? I just think that is so stunning. I just love it. Okay, so here's a couple of other options. And that was the original. So this one I've made into a 2-page spread. And that way this backs up to each other. Isn't that cool? So you can have photos all on this side, photos all on this side, and this fits together. So perfect. Then you can also add just a little cluster of stickers. You can add like other stickers in these other smaller areas just to add a little bit more. Put them together like that. Isn't that pretty? Then the other thing you can do is just take one sheet and you can put it together. Just adhere them together. This is the one side backed up to the other, and I just actually put tape chips on the back to hold them together. And then you can just put it across the page like this, and then add your photos. Okay, and don't worry about covering up some of this decoration. You really want to make sure that your photos show. Okay, and then I've got another 4x6 under here, 4x3 under here. Okay, add that in there. So you can get several photos, and then you can just handwrite some journaling in here. Because remember, the most important part of your pages are your photos and the who, what, when, where. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thanks for hanging in there. If you have any questions, feel free. You can email me at deannecmc2@yahoo.com. If you don't have an advisor and you would like to get this punch, again, reach out to your advisor if you have one, because I know she works really hard for you. But if you don't have an advisor, you'd like to get one of these punches, you can go to my website and order it from there, or email me and I can try to get a hold of one for you. I do have a few in stock. So, and then if you enjoyed this video, check out my other videos, and it'd be great if you subscribe to my channel, and that way you'd be able to see all the new borders that I come out with, usually around once a week. I didn't last week just because it was Christmas and doing a lot of family things, and that's important. So, but check out to just subscribe to my channel. If you click on the bell, then you'll also get notifications when my videos do come out. Try to be consistent. Today's Tuesday. They have been on Fridays. And then lastly, if you want to check out my Facebook group, it's kind of a work in progress. That's where I'll post the new products that are coming out. We'll have new products coming out next Tuesday, January 2nd. I'm looking forward to that. And I also try to add other ideas in there, but this would be a great place for you guys to share what you've done with my videos. I would love to see them. So request to join my group, and I'd be happy to let you in, and then we can just do a lot of really fun sharing. So that's it for now, guys. Thanks again for tuning in. I really appreciate it. And I will talk to you again next week. Have a great day. Have a great and safe New Year's. All right. Thank you so much. Bye, guys.